So we decided we wanted to make a documentary. A documentary to raise awareness about drug addiction. We call it Project Aware.
Who was I supposed to be before I became the addict? Is the biggest thing. Is what would I have been if I wasn't this? If I were to take the last 22 years of my life and take it out and go back to when I was 16 or 17 years old and play the tape without the addiction, who would I have been?
Drug addiction, one of the biggest problems downtown Eastside Vancouver. Drug addiction isn't only a problem itself, it's a problem maker. It starts to create poverty, depression, and many other illnesses. How does drug addiction start? Where does it come from? We went to Pacifica to ask some recovering addicts.
My childhood was up and down, up and down. My dad was an alcoholic, my mom was an addict, so that was always part of my life. The first time recreationally I started to abuse drugs at around 13.
13. And how did you see it back when you were in high school? Like, how was it portrayed to you in school?
It was portrayed as fun.
Fun?
Yeah, it was like a weekend thing.
So in a social perspective,
Yeah,
it was
definitely. It was definitely social.
I was adopted when I was 3. My mother gave me up, and she was a really hardcore drug addict, and so she gave me up for adoption when I was 3. And then I went into an adopted family where there was sexual abuse from my older adopted brother, so that went on for a few years. And he beat me too, like there was a lot of physical abuse going on there as well. My parents drank, but they weren't problem drinkers, but they gave me alcohol at a young age. My dad thought it was okay to give me some of his booze when I was like 9 and stuff, and so I kind of started liking, drinking his alcohol, and I'd always ask for some, and then I started finding their stashes and stuff and getting drunk.
My childhood, I lived with my mother, and my father was murdered when I was about a year and a half old. And I have 2 brothers and a sister that are older than me. I'm the youngest. And my mother, she was an alcoholic all her life. So I never had much structure, like I didn't have much structure or rules or anything, so I kind of just, just went along with it.
how you were brought up.
Well, I guess pretty much a normal dysfunctional Roman Catholic family. Dad worked hard and drank hard. I first drank on what I would call a regular basis in about grade 8, grade 9.
All the recovering addicts we interviewed seemed to have similar stories. Most were exposed at a young age and had abusive parents. So, what harm does drugs do to you, physically and mentally? How does it affect your family and friends?
For me, I had 3 aspirations in life. I wanted to become an aeronautical engineer. This is when the present course when I was going through school. Then secondary would be a fireman, and third, just to be a welder. Those are my three aspirations in life. That's just like, you know, one is just in case for the other, you know, backup type of thing, right? Well, leaving home and at an early age, and you had to keep up high grades to become an aeronautical engineer, so I gave up on that idea.
Well, in my active addiction, I've been using for about the last 10 years, right? So the struggles that I had to go through with addiction was basically financial struggles. I would have to say loss of family connection, loss of friends, serving jail time numerous times, sometimes up to a year, anytime like or less, 6 months, 5 months. I've been in jail about 4 times in the last 5 years. Emotional struggles, depression, anxiety, some mental health issues that fall into depression. The trust, the honesty part, lying.
So there's a lot of lying.
Oh, with active addiction, it's just lies. That's all it is. It's just all lies. And being alone is a struggle. Right? You feel when you're alone and you have nowhere to turn. You just turn to either alcohol or drugs to take the pain away. So that's how I looked at it, right? So.
Well, I lost my house. I lost my wife. Lots of possessions that I had earned, worked for. Why it's not worth it?
Yeah.
Because you lose all aspirations and goals in your life. Rob, steal, cheat, lie. Makes you a person that you aren't otherwise, right? Like I just reconnected with my family, and my sister says, because I was explaining to her what I went through and stuff, and she said, well, that's not the Gord that I know. The Gord that I knew would never do any of that stuff. Makes you a person that you're not.
There's feelings of despair, hopelessness, feeling trapped, maybe angry in a sense that I was worried that I was going to be, you know, stuck in construction my whole life, that I would never have a good job, that I would always be in active addiction. My relationships with family, friends, girlfriends, you know, they all kind of took the back seat behind my addiction. So, and I mean, I was finding that I was suffering a lot of financial loss. I was losing interest in the things that used to matter. And it got to the point where, you know, I'd lost a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships. My family wanted very little to do with me. This time, you know, things are just getting worse.
The consequences of drugs are not worth it. Things may seem fun at the beginning, but it can turn your whole life upside down. Your dreams and goals that you have change. And your addiction becomes the #1 priority.
If there's anything that I could say, it's, you know, don't gamble with it. I mean, just steer clear of it.
Somewhere along that line, little things that added up to it just came about, like, you know, lack of education. I mean, I started getting lazy to that, right? I mean, I had no inspiration anymore. I lost my hope. I lost my faith into wanting to better myself, right? Just as much as what our parents have taught us along the years in life, you know, just get your job, get your education, you know, move forward. You know, some of us, we always try to live life thinking that we can find our own independence that way, but that's why we have parents, that's why we have teachers, that's why we have our peers, you know, to lean on each other and to, you know, not go into that direction. And that's not to even say that's 100% either, right? It's about what you're willing to do to make the difference too, right? Because I've always believed in what you do and don't do that makes a difference in your life, right? So.